I've had a lot of inquiries from viewers, and thank you, by the way, for people who write in asking me questions and so forth. It's very encouraging, about double-handed swords and how they might be used. Well, I've got a couple of points to make about double-handed swords. Some people have asked about the scabbards and how they could have a quick draw scabbard for a double-handed sword. Well, the double-handed sword is a battlefield weapon. Yes, there were scabbards for carrying them around, which could be put on your back, but they weren't for quick draw. They were just for the convenience when you're carrying the thing. Otherwise, you could carry it just over your shoulder like a big spear. They didn't bother with a quick draw scabbard for double-handed swords in much the same way that in World War II, the American Army didn't bother developing a quick draw holster for its bazooka. You see, GIs weren't in the habit of leaping out in front of a German tank and saying, "Okay, Tiger, draw." When you're going into battle, you get your weapon ready. They're not personal defence weapons that you might need a quick draw for if you're suddenly assaulted in a tavern by a drunkard or something. Now, how are they used? Well, we don't really know, but it is believed that they were used largely for hacking their way into pike formations. And the way you would do it was you would build up a fair bit of speed using an upward figure-of-8 movement like this. So you've got a very long sword and you build up speed like this, and then you advance into the pikes. You'll notice that as those pikes come at you, you're not fencing with them, you're not individually reacting to what individual pikes are doing. You've got a load of pikes in front of you. In a dense formation, there could be 1, 2, 3 at least rows of pikes deep, and a few, you might be, an individual man might be threatened by 6, 9, 12 pikes, something like that. He can't be fencing against each one. Instead, he's just knocking them aside in general in order to get in there. And he wouldn't hang about. He'd want to get in as fast as he can. But then, you're in amongst the enemy, all going well. So then what do? You've got this huge, really awkward sword. Well, one thing you can do is ditch it and grab a little handy hatchet and start laying about you. Of course, another thing that can happen is that by getting into the opposition formation, you panic the opposition and they run away. That would be good. What if the opposition doesn't and you still want to hang on to your sword? Well, what you can do is you can shorten your sword. You can hold it above the lower large quillons and then just below the other set of quillons. This is something that they get wrong in a lot of books and occasionally films. They will picture a double-handed sword as being sharp all the way up. But in fact, the section between the big quillons and the second set of quillons was blunt. That second set of quillons, that's what it is. It's another cross guard. It's for protecting your fingers. It's not actually a spiky weapon thing for killing people. It's for protecting your hand when you're holding it. So that center section of the blade is blunt and sometimes was bound even with leather to make it more handy to grip. So then you would hold it and use the sword like a short spear. So it's a way of using it when you're in a more confined, awkward space, such as the middle of an enemy pike formation. So there you go, a couple of points about double-handed swords.